As the 2023 NBA Finals between the Denver Nuggets and the Miami Heat shifts to the Kaseya Center in Miami, Florida, both teams duke it out for an all-important 2-1 lead in Game 3 of their best-of-7 series on Wednesday, June 7th. After a gutsy 111-108 Game 2 win, momentum is now on the side of the Heat, who were considered as underdogs prior to the start of the series as they managed to steal a victory on the road and handed the Nuggets their first home loss this postseason. Miami relied on a total team effort in Game 2 as 3 players breached the 20-point territory, with Gabe Vincent leading the charge with 23 points built on 4 long bombs. Jimmy Butler bounced back from his quiet Game 1 performance with a 21-point outing, while Bam Adebayo continued his stellar play in the finals as he also produced 21 markers on an efficient 8 of 14 shooting. However, it was the duo of Max Strus and Duncan Robinson that played a vital role in Miami's nail-biting Game 2 escape as the sharpshooters finally came alive after disappearing in the series opener. Strus, who went scoreless and missed all his 10 attempts in Game 1, delivered 14 points in Game 2, including 12 in the opening period. Robinson, meanwhile, sparked Miami's furious 36-25 fourth-quarter run as he scored all his 10 points on 4 of 5 shooting in the final 12 minutes alone. Look for those same players to once again show up and make their presence felt for the Heat in Game 3 as they gun for back-to-back wins against a Nuggets squad, which depends heavily on superstar center Nikola Jokic. The two-time NBA MVP Jokic was a one-man show for Denver in Game 2, erupting for 41 points on 28 attempts, along with 11 rebounds and 4 assists. Another game, another night of history for Nikola Jokic. The superstar center was unstoppable in Game 3, recording the first 30-point, 20-rebound, 10-assist triple-double in NBA Finals history to lead the Nuggets to a 109-94 victory over the Heat. Jokic finished with 32 points, 21 rebounds and 10 assists, controlling the entire game to allow Denver to retain home court advantage and take a 2-1 lead in the series. And he didn't make history alone. Jokic and Jamal Murray became the first teammates in NBA Finals history to record a triple-double in the same game, as Murray finished with 34 points, 10 rebounds and 10 assists. The Heat had a spirited comeback late, trimming the Nuggets' lead to as slim as 9 points in the final 2 minutes, but the effort only made the final score appear closer than it was. If you missed any of the action, the Sporting News had you covered with live updates, highlights and more from all the action in Game 3. Denver Nuggets coach Michael Malone's blunt honesty and his players' willingness to earn a lackluster effort made a difference in Game 3 of the NBA Finals on Wednesday. Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray got back to their effective two-man game, and the Nuggets' recommitment to defense led to a 109-94 victory over the Miami Heat and a 2-1 series lead. The Nuggets responded the way Malone thought they would. Rookie Christian Braun had his biggest game of the series with 15 points on 7, 4, 8 shooting, and Aaron Gordon had 11 points, 10 rebounds and 5 assists. Denver dominated inside, outscoring the Heat 60-34 in the paint and out-rebounding them 58-33. Teams that win Game 3 of a 1-1 NBA Finals go on to win the series 80% of the time, 32-8, and teams that lead the Finals 2-1 have won the title 79% of the time, 49-13. The Nuggets regained home court advantage and have put themselves in position to head back to Denver with a 3-1 series lead. Game 4 is Friday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, ABC. Malone had bemoaned Denver's fourth-quarter play, pointing out the Nuggets were outscored 65-44 in the fourth of the first 2 games. Denver built a 93-72 lead early in the fourth quarter and did enough to hold off the Heat. Miami shot just 37% from the field and 31.4% on threes. Jimmy Butler scored 28 points and Bam Adebayo had 22 points and 17 rebounds. Braun stretches Nuggets lead to 21 points. Braun was on fire in the fourth quarter. He made back-to-back buckets to extend the Nuggets' lead to 21, their largest of the game. Jamal Murray connected with Braun for a layup. He was fouled in the process by Kyle Lowry and converted his free throw for a three-point play. On the Nuggets' next possession, Braun went right at Jimmy Butler in the paint and hit a floating jump shot over him to put Denver up 93-72 with 8:28 remaining. Braun has 15 points in 19 minutes off the bench. Gabe Vincent picks up third foul. It has not been Gabe Vincent's night. He sat a majority of the second quarter after picking up two back-to-back fouls in 1 second. He re-entered the game with 2:28 left in the first half and after losing Game 2 in Denver, Nikola Jokic was unsettlingly calm in his post-game interview, saying, "Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose." The tranquil nature of his response should come as no surprise. We have seen how he plays the game, and on Wednesday night in Miami he brought that calm back to the fans in Colorado with a historic performance as the Nuggets took home court advantage back in the series. Two things that came out of the game in Denver on Sunday were Jamal Murray's slow start, going for 0 points in the first quarter, and Jokic's inability to distribute the ball like we are so accustomed to seeing. Those were things that the Nuggets addressed immediately out of the gate as Murray scored 8 points in the first 5 minutes and Jokic had 14, 12 and 7 assists by halftime. The first half went back and forth as Jimmy Butler showed up in the opening part of the game for the first time in this series. He had 10 in the first quarter as both teams traded shares of the lead, and the largest lead either team had after the first half was 5. Denver's defense locked down in second half. Miami was struggling to shoot the ball as Denver defense stepped up after Nuggets coach Mike Malone questioned his team's desire and effort in the Game 2 loss. The Heat turned the ball over just once in the first half, but shot under 40% as Jamal Murray led the Nugs with 20 points at the break. Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler kept the Heat in the game as Bam had another big night going for 22 and 17 rebounds, much of that coming in the first half. In the second half the Heat's inside-out combo went cold as Miami scored just 20 points in the third and Jokic and Braun stretched the Nuggets' lead to 21 points. Braun had 15 points off the bench, 9 in the second half, and is now 1 win closer to winning the NCAA title and the NBA title in back-to-back years. Braun's energy off the bench and the Denver defense was enough to keep a double-digit cushion for the rest of the game. Jokic shrugs off finals record. Jokic and Murray continued to pour it on in the fourth quarter, as both of them registered triple-doubles on nights in which they both scored 30-plus points. Murray led all scorers with 34, 10 and 10, while Jokic posted his 10th postseason triple-double, going for 32, 21 and 11, becoming the first player in the history of the league to get 30, 20 and 10 in an NBA Finals game. When sideline reporter Lisa Salters asked Jokic about what it means to stand alone in the NBA history books, he very candidly told her not much. He is a superstar that is much more focused on winning than individual accolades, and now he will shift his focus on taking Game 4 in Miami on Friday night.